Okay, guys, number 7, top 10 things that piss me off in the horse world. This is one of my, this actually should have been, well, they're not really rated 1 to 10, 1 to worst, but this one is one of my hot buttons. I cannot stand people that just make nothing but excuses for their horse's piss poor behavior, okay? It's what I make fun of all the time with these tree-hugging idiots that they always want to blame something physical's wrong with the horse rather than assess their own horsemanship ability and the horse's behavior and saying, maybe I should do something different. Maybe I should train the horse better. Maybe I should hold the horse accountable, okay? So, like, here's an example, okay? And when I say a lot of these stories, I think a lot of people think I'm just making this shit up, like it doesn't actually happen. Like, I've dealt with what I'm about to say to you my entire career. I've probably heard what I'm about to say to you, I shit you not, 3,000 times, a version of this story 3,000 times in the last 28 years doing this. That much, okay? I'll be at a tour, and some lady will walk up to me and say, Clinton, I got a mare, and I'll take her on the trail. And she'll walk down the trail perfectly. And right at exactly 28 minutes, I've timed it several times, Clinton. Right at 28 minutes, she will stop, run backwards as fast as she can. She'll run backwards so fast, she'll run into a gully on the side of the road. She'll stop, she'll run into the gully, flip over backwards, and rear over backwards and try to kill me. And then when I fall off, she gets up. And then if I get back on her, she'll ride again. And right at exactly 28 minutes again, she does the same thing. How do I fix this? What's wrong with her? Seriously, that exact question. I shit you not, okay? And I'll say to him, well, I don't know why at 28 minutes this horse is running backwards, flipping over, okay? Your problem's coming from either lack of respect or fear or a combination of the two. I can just tell you, lady, if you sent the horse to me, I would take it back to the round pen. I would act like it's never been ridden, and I would restart the horse again and put a whole new foundation on that horse. And after 6 weeks of following the method, 6 days a week following my method, I can guarantee you it ain't going to want to do that anymore. It's not going to run backwards. It's not going to rear up. It's not going to do any of this dumb shit, especially if you are an effective leader, you gain the horse's respect, and that horse knows that you're the leader, okay? So I'll give that answer, which is basically just go get some bitch broke, go do your job, get rid of the shitty foundation, hold the horse accountable, hold yourself accountable to being out there 6 days a week and training the horse. Let's get some, remember, shine the mirror on ourselves. Let's hold ourselves accountable, the horse and ourselves, okay? I'll give that answer. And there's always at least half a dozen ladies in the comments. Well, did you ever think that it maybe has a sore back? Did you ever think that maybe its ovaries are sore, so it needs a vet? Did you ever think that it's the farrier didn't shoe it correctly? Their first impulse is to always find an excuse why the horse's behavior is bad from a physical standpoint. Can some of their questions be right? Technically, yes. But I've been doing this 28 years and traveled all over the world working with hundreds and thousands of horses, really, not hundreds, that have done shit like this. And when I put them through my method, all that bad behavior just stops. They don't go to the vet. They don't go to the chiropractor. They don't get their uterus checked. It all gets fixed. Because people love to make excuses that don't reflect the mirror on them. They like physical problems because, well, it's his hock. That's why he did it. It was the farrier didn't shoe him correctly. Oh, the vet didn't do his job. It's everybody else's job what failed, except my lack of leadership, my lack of horsemanship, my lack of knowledge. So that's why I make fun of them, is because they always want the easy way out. Sometimes we've got to get a little ugly. We've got to go through some bad shit to get to the good shit. That's just part of horse training sometimes, okay? We don't want it to be the whole time, but sometimes you've got to go through a little ugliness to get what you need. But they're always wanting to blame a physical problem. I can't tell you how many chiropractors, okay, in my career, especially when I was doing a lot of equine expos and shit like that with Mindy and stuff, and I'd have a guy walk up to me, watch me in a demo, and he said, Clinton, I watched you and Mindy, and I'm a chiropractor, and she's out in her left hip. And I promise you, if you let me work on her, when you get back on her, you're going to notice the world of difference. And back in the early years, I'd humor them a little bit, and I'd say, sure, come work on her. And they'd work on her, and they'd say, okay, now when you get back on, it's going to be dramatic now. You know what I noticed? Nothing. She rode the exact same way she rode an hour before or the day before or whatever, okay? Am I saying chiropractors snake oil salesman? No, I'm not going to say that at all. There's a place for a chiropractor, okay? But I'm just using that as an example. Most people would rather pay $200-300 to have their horse chiropractor on than spend $200 or $300 on learning about their horsemanship and getting their horse broke. Because one's a quick fix. One, they just stand there and write a check, and theoretically their problem's starting to get solved. The other one, they have to lose a little sweat and put some equity in and put some skin in the game and learn a skill set. And often when you're learning something new, you've got to get uncomfortable before it gets better. Can you see why this one's more popular? Again, I'm not shitting on chiropractors, okay? But don't you think it's odd for 28 years I've been doing this? I don't know the last time I paid a chiropractor to work on a horse of mine. Actually paid. I don't remember. Might have been at least 15 years ago. Does that make sense? Not saying it's not, you can't do it. It's just, I just don't think it's a big deal. I think people's lack of horsemanship's a big deal. It's like, do you know what horse companies loved out of all the genres of horses in the world, or sports? Do you know the one that equine companies love the most? People that make tack, you know what I mean? Love tack, bits and boots and all that shit. You know what industry they love the most? Barrel racing industry. Oh my God, home run. All these ladies love to buy the magnet boots and the magnet skull cap and the pussy warmer, and they've got the bit that elevates and the bit that de-elevates, and they got the chain bit, and then they got the leather bit, then they got the three-piece bit, and then they got the brain chain, and then they got the titanium, and then they got the boots with the laser therapy on it, and then they got the stars, and then they got the magnet with the blanket, and underneath, oh my God. Talk about a home run for a tack store as a barrel racer. They love buying shit that they think is going to make their horse behave better or run better. When the one thing that they need the most, that they typically will not do, is get them better broke. Get the horse broke. Learn some horsemanship skills. Get them to where they rate your hands, rate your legs. They've got 13,000 bits on the wall. Ian Francis, one of the greatest horsemen, in my opinion, in the world. Won the Cutting Futurity 3 times, won the Reigning Futurity 5 times. I mean, his horses are so broke and so soft and so supple, and just, they could run down the arena and stop in 8-inch deep sand and just bury their ass in the ground and just broke to death. He had 2 bits in his tack room. When I worked for him, he had 2 bits that he trained. He had a twisted wire snaffle, and then an old, just a kind of medium, like a high port Greg Darnell Loomis shank bit, 3/8 of an inch, little port like that, little square port, loose shanked, 2 bridles, and in the corner he had about 50,000 bits hanging up that were covered in rust. One day I asked him, I said, "Do you not use any of those bits?" And he said, "No, I don't use any of them. I just use these 2." And I said, "Why do you only have 2?" Because he said, "If you can't get it done with these 2, you're not going to get it done, period. If I need all this other shit to get the horse trained, I'm either a shitty horseman or it's a shitty horse. It ain't going to work anyway." He said, "I bought it all thinking it was going to be the next edge, thinking it was going to be the next big deal, and it's not." He used a twisted wire snaffle and a high port Greg Darnell Loomis shank bit. On his cutters, on his reiners, did it everything. 2 bridles, that's all he had. But what he had that was really special and valuable was this: feel, timing with his feet, skill set, technique. That was where his magic was. It wasn't hanging on the wall over there, okay? People always want a quick fix. And I know I'm going to piss off a lot of barrel racing ladies. That's all right. They already hate my guts anyway. I'm good with it, okay? But the smart barrel racers, and there's some smart ones out there, the smart ones focus on getting their horses really broke. The smart ones focus less on tack and more on horsemanship. The ones that don't want to do that buy every damn laser therapy, magnet boot, copper band, fucking aluminum, titanium shoe with the sparkles on it. I mean, talk about hit the home run for a tack store as a barrel. As soon as they're a barrel racer, a tack horse says, "Come on in." Head to the back. There's a big wall of bits there. They all got your name written all over them.